Welcome, deviant drivers, to another episode of A Drink with a Driver. Water, smart water.
Hotel again.
Can tell by the background. No Tiger King this time?
No, we're not doing Tiger King this time. Um, we'll do this one just for a moment. So the possibilities are endless. I mean, and he's using my coffee mug. So
well, happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
yes,
You?
yes. Happy. I picked the wrong one. That's where I wish I was. Not talking to you. I wish I was on the beach with a true drink. That's
Uh, well, happy Father's Day, and happy Father's Day to all the other fathers out in the league. Hope you guys had a good celebration. What did you do for Father's Day? How did you celebrate?
Actually, it was a good weekend. Went hiking with Christopher and got the wife out on a trail, which was very shocking to get her outside for once. And then on Sunday, I got breakfast in bed, got an omelet, I got a homemade cinnamon bread loaf, fruit, orange juice. So that was kind of cool. That was before my race. And then went to the in-laws, jumped in the pool, grilled out, watched some golf, jumped back in the pool, went home, jumped back in the pool. So I was in the pool till almost 10 o'clock last night. It was a good time though.
Nice,
Not crazy. Yeah. You
nice.
yourself? I know you don't have kids, but I'm sure you've celebrated something for someone.
We went up to Myrtle Beach and
Yeah.
went to my brother's house, and we did a cookout there at my brother's for my dad, and all the kids were there and everything. So got to play around with a cool a VR thing. Insert a little video of it, but
What game were you playing?
it was, I don't know what it was called. It was some dinosaur roller coaster thing, and you ride on a roller coaster and shoot dinosaur targets.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot more fun than it sounds like, but you know.
Well, it sounds like you did better VR than Tex did. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that. Poor guy. Tex ran VR this weekend, and I think he's ran VR this entire season. Um, I think that's why he hasn't noticed his number board is wrong.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, he does need to change his number board. He needs to put on the proper one. But he took a he well, we'll discuss it. He rocket ship right through turn one, and we'll talk about that. But first, I know you're in a hotel room, so you didn't bring. I assume you didn't bring your Lego car, which has been completed.
Yes, it is done.
I have completed mine. Here, I will show it to you. It is here. So it's got movable hood with
Lift it up. Can't see it. There you go.
a an engine in there. There it is.
There you go. If
Yeah.
you drop it, I'm going to feel so bad and laugh at
I
the same
know. It's it's got a removable roof. You know, the roof
Nice,
comes off.
nice.
Pretty cool. The doors, of course, open, close. And we got a trunk, which has a latch you push under here.
Yeah,
Trunk pops up. All the spare parts are in the trunk. So
heck yeah. Yeah. So obviously, this might be difficult. I don't think this is going to work. Nope. It
your
flies out.
background's getting it.
So it's there. All right, there we go. Somewhat.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put up a I'll put up a good uh screenshot of it there.
Yeah.
Everybody
So
can see.
so I I started looking at other ones, and I knew
Me
this was
too.
going to be a damn problem. And I saw just the other day the Lamborghini Countach is coming out on July 4th, and I'm like, damn it, I'm in so much trouble.
I
And
know.
yeah, I don't want to tell the certain individual who bought me this because he thought it would be the gateway drug, and it's turning out that yeah,
He's right.
it's not even, they look cool, don't get me wrong. Like I love the look of it. It was putting it together that
Mhm.
really was fascinated by with the mechanics of it. So yeah.
The fun part is as you're doing it, like you're doing a step or a bag or whatever, and you don't really, you can't put together what you're doing. Like you're
Right.
like, I don't know what I'm building. For the longest time, I thought I was building like the front of the car to the back of the car. I found out I was building the back of the car to the front of the car. And you just don't understand how all this goes together. And at the end of the baggie or the steps or whatever, you put it together and you're like, oh, it's a door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's uh, they're definitely very intelligent for the way they put these things together. And even the color choice and placement, where you're like, why would it be that color at that point, at that stage? And then you see where it's a door mechanism. I think I talked about that last time. So yeah, it's addicting. I will buy another one, and I hate a certain individual for it. So it is what it
They
is.
are super cool. They are super cool. It's not the Lego we're used to from way back when we were kids.
No,
You know,
not at all. Not at all.
come so
So
far.
did you buy another one yet? You said you were going to buy one.
Not yet. I can't. I don't know which one to get. And now that you posted the Lamborghini one in the Discord today, I'm considering that one. They had the Porsche. I looked at that one, the Porsche GT3 race
Mm-hmm.
car. And then they had, of course, they had that really cool Lamborghini, the new Lamborghini. It's like, I don't know, the top of the line. I think it actually drives like it's almost maybe a remote control or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't know. Um, it's just it looks insane. So I don't know. And then the Peugeot's still there, the Le Mans race car. That one looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm probably going to jump on the Lambo, the Countach.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do another one.
You didn't post the actual video.
No, I will post the video of the construction.
For these guys, spoiler alert. Uh, we joked about it last time about us recording us putting these things together, and our lame asses actually did. And you
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet. It's
Yep.
coming.
You haven't seen it.
Unedited, unscripted.
Yeah, there'll be no editing. I'm just gonna plug it right in there.
We might get a view and a half, and that might be full view from me, half view from you. But yeah, it's we'll again we'll have a Lego building party one night via Discord and just screw fun night. We'll just build Legos. Hey, little kids.
Maybe it could be like a group build. We get like 4 or 5 members and we just all build it together.
Exactly.
Like a Lego building conference call.
Right. Or or I do step one, put everything back in the box, and I ship it to you. And you do step two. You put everything back in the box and you ship it to who
Glovis.
do you ship it to? Glovis, exactly. Ship it to him.
Yeah.
And then we just continue.
Yep.
So obviously this is not why people tune into this, is to listen
No.
to talk about Legos.
No.
So
We're deviating.
because we're deviant. Monza. First off, everybody knows Glovis
Congratulations.
with the win, his second win of all time
Well
in
done.
GT3. In
Yes.
GT3. He's won multiple Sunday Cups.
Yeah.
But with those aside, this is his only second one. Do you remember his last track he won?
Oh gosh. I don't. I know you got the stats in front of you.
No, I remember it. He was in the 4C.
Oh man, that was our first season of GT3, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was
Yep.
it Lamar?
Nope.
No.
Nope. He's been with us since June 28th, almost his anniversary, 2022. So for almost 2 years, this is his only second win. It was at Major.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
The infamous Major.
It's been a while since we've run that track, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It has been a while since we've run that track.
Yeah, I think
To
it's
hell
time.
with that track. I hate that track.
No, I like it. You don't like it?
Yeah, I don't care for it. No, it just it's still it's one of those tracks that feels disconnected to me still. Um, I don't know. I just don't care for it. I don't race it often, so it is what it is. I usually don't do well there either, but all
Well,
good. But yeah, Glover's taking the win for GT3, and Huge Jar taking his first win for GT4, which we'll talk about. But starting in GT3 first, you had a rough day. I had a rough day. Um, it's definitely interesting being where we are right now.
well, like we said, it all started with Monza Turn One, which is notorious in all racing, real and sim alike, as being basically death's corner. And I think we were discussing it, and you made the statement in real life you can get two cars through. Sim racers think that you can get five.
Yeah, exactly. So in real racing, most drivers know you can only go too wide. And I think it's obviously easier in real racing. You got a little bit more peripheral vision of what's going on beside you and where you can stick your nose, where you can't. But in sim racing, it's like, no, we can get five through there at a time. And yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
Yeah. No.
Not at all. And I mean, I was fortunate enough to grab pole. The Lambo's quick. I've talked about that. The Lambo is fast if you can get it working. And on good tires, it is a fast car. It is. The tires just don't last. So those laps are very few and far in between than just a good consistency, clearly, as I did during the race. But I was fortunate enough to be on first. Besso was just behind me. I can't remember who else was next to me. Hold on. No, that's not there. I don't remember. But Tex in the Ferrari saw it coming, shoots out, gets all the way right, and then just shoot, keeps on going. And thankfully, he kept going because he would have wiped out everyone on the front row, and then
Oh yeah.
everyone just piled in behind, and
Oh,
it would have been we would have restarted the race, I think.
it would have been bad. It would have been bad. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. I saw, a Ferrari just kind of, and I was like, man, did he glitch out or like just disconnect or he just missed the turn completely?
Yeah,
Evidently.
like he kept rolling through,
Yeah.
kept rolling through. So, um, but yeah, I was doing fine until lap 3, so I wasn't doing fine for long. I was on Besso and I was bumping Besso to kind of let's keep going. But I came into the second chicane and I took a little bit too much curb, and it's the first time it's happened in that car at that turn. I usually do really well on that turn, and whole thing turned sideways and into the wall. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went from second to 11th,
Hmm.
or second to 10th, because Pure Text was still trying to figure his way.
Yeah.
So, but then after that, it was, waiting for the safety car, which was thankfully, lap 8, which was good for me. It was a randomizer. I didn't choose it on purpose, but it was the perfect lap for me just based on fuel. How many laps could you get on fuel
So it's funny. We did
besides
calculation.
the end?
That's the funny part is we did calculations. We were averaging right at 9.5% per lap. So we could easily do 10 laps a tank. It was and 8 was our worst uh safety car lap that could have come up simply because of the way it would have left us for the rest of the race and the length that it would have been remaining that we would have had to go. And we had it planned out pretty much to run a two-stop race. And there at the end, we were coming up. It was literally half of a lap short in fuel. And Dirksey, we both had exactly the same fuel. He had point 0.7, or he had point 0.5, I had point 0.7 in the tank at the line. And he said, I'm at point 0.5, I got to go in. And I said, okay, go for it. Well, at the time, I was looking at where we were, how it was working out, and I was like, if I pit now, it's basically a loss because the time in the pits and the guys we're going to catch. So I was like, I'm just going to fuel save. I'm going to stick it on 6, short shift the hell out of it. I'll probably lose a position or two, and we'll just see what happens. I said, Dirksey will, come out ahead of me, or maybe we'll both be finished at the back. I didn't, whatever. So I said, just go for it. And I made it around all the way through the second shed of chicanes, and I came down that little straight just before the parabolica, and it cut off. And I was like, okay, sucks.
I blame this on Chaotica. One, I ran out of fuel as well. Slug ran out of fuel. You ran out of fuel. I believe Glovis was either on fumes or ran out at the end. I would have to check the actual replay, or
I believe Rue ran out as well. I think Rue
did
had
he?
ran out. I believe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Glovis was either nursing the hell out of it or he ran out right at the end, because Besso clipped 4 seconds just on the last turn alone and ended 4/10 behind him. So clearly something happened. But I mean, for so many people to get close to running out of fuel or run out of fuel is absolutely insane. Like I said, I ran out on the last turn, and you and I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier today. I don't know what's wrong. This is 2 races now that have not resulted in me like losing positions, but not gaining positions.
Mhm.
At Trial Mountain, I could have pressed on Zen, not saying I would have gotten it, but he was in a bad spot and I could have taken advantage of it. And then same thing here. I had to back off of Preston, and I just I didn't have enough fuel in the tank to continue racing. So it screwed me the last 2 races. And I knew this car was averaging 12 to 13%.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that in the tank,
Mm-hmm.
knowing there were 6 laps left. I knew I was getting to 31 and still ran out. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And I'm purposely not over revving it because
Yeah.
I know that's going to screw it. So I don't know what's going on. I need to err on the side of caution a little bit more. And maybe I just fill it up every single time. I don't know.
That's about where I'm getting at, because this is 2 races for us as well in a row. That we didn't run out of gas on the last one at Trial Mountain, but we had to make an extra stop. And it's just the calculations. It's like, the averages are coming off in the telemetry, but it's just not adding up in the race. It's almost like there's a glitch in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
something's not, it's not adding up enough
Mm-mm.
somewhere that it's impacting the race enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I think I just need to go over and above by either half a lap or maybe even a full lap. Maybe I should have just gone for 7 laps. I used to do that. But we were
After
getting so
Catalonia.
good. Yeah, after Catalonia. Yeah. I always put a full lap in after that. But we were getting so good at really being on point. And maybe just because it's the new fuel
It could be.
consumption that we're messing with, that it's eating it up so much more. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm struggling to adapt to it, and it's causing me yeah, some issues.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're not the only one. We had our share of issues the last 2 races as well.
why'd
Uh,
you guys decide to do a 2 lap 2 stop race?
because calculations said we could, and we within all fairness, we were within a half a lap.
Yeah, I mean that is true. Yeah, I only asked because Um, Monza is such a quick pit stop.
Hmm.
I see it working at Trial Mountain for sure. Was just curious about what you guys were thinking with the Monza because it was such a quick. It's odd because it's such a long pit
Hmm.
stop, but you come in full bore, um, and you leave essentially full bore almost.
Hmm.
Um, it seems like the time you were in the pits, you're almost close to the end of the track by the time you get out.
Yeah,
So it's fairly quick.
it is. It is. It's not as long as some of them that we have. Um, we got Alsace or Alsace, Sushi. Uh, Next race. I don't recall. We don't run there enough for me to recall about the pitting time.
Uh, Anatole said this is a short pit.
Is it? Okay.
So yeah, I don't remember. Obviously, we'll find out, but I
Yeah.
don't remember. But yeah, so my strat for this race was Team Lambo. Myself, and I, were I started on softs because I didn't know how hot the track would get later on into the middle of the race since we were starting late morning. I
Hmm.
knew it wouldn't, in my mind, I knew it wouldn't get any better as the day wore on.
Right.
So I wanted to start on softs, especially if I had a good qualifying. That way I could just stay out front for a little bit and then kind of manage tires from there when I didn't have to be as strict on them. But I went soft, medium, and soft is what I ran.
Okay. We did all salts.
Yeah, everybody did, except for Tex, the other car that struggles on the track, the Ferrari.
Yeah.
I think everybody else ran softs.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
Um, I like the mediums better because you can beat them up a little bit more. If you make mistakes, it's not as, you know, the consequences aren't as bad,
That's a fair
but
point. Yeah,
you
that's
have
true.
just a little bit more leeway. So that's why I went medium. And it was a little bit of challenge racing against I was racing against Bad Rock, Floody, for a while, Preston for a while. Um, Floody cracked me up. I passed him and he just let out this audible little no. It was funny. But it was tough trying to get around them when they're on a better compound and trying to exploit what the Lambo's good at in the cornering, but it was fun. Bad Rock put up a good defense on me. He crossed me over in turn one chicane and I ended up in the dirt anyway. That car for some reason doesn't it hates low speed turns. Like
The
it does
Lambo.
not want to turn. Like I was double handing, overhanding, trying to get this thing to turn left after your first S, trying to get it to come back around. And if I clipped the second curb enough, it would rotate. Um, I could sometimes try to power and get the tail to step out,
Yeah.
but if it didn't step out, it was in the dirt. And I came in shallow. Bad Rock played me just right, came in behind me. Um, and then I just came out a little bit wide and I took him on the pass. He forfeited the pass and took it right back and then stepped out for like a second and a half lead and had to reel him back in. So it was good racing with him. It was good racing with Floody. We had some good battles back and forth. So it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was you know, I don't think there was any real significant incidents that happened. I mean, there's really not, I
Well,
mean,
no,
turn
let's say it.
one other
No,
than
let's say it. Not one incident report from the entire weekend. I don't
yeah,
even know if that's a stat right now. I don't think that's ever happened.
I don't think it has. I think we've had always at least one every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, for GT3 anyway. Yeah, no incident reports whatsoever for either league. Well done, guys. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Even with all
Bravo.
the turn one calamity that happened,
Yeah.
you know,
Chaotica got pinged around like crazy right after the
he's
start
used
of
to
the
it
safety
though.
car. Huh?
He's used to it though.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it feels freaking great. Doesn't mean you want to be in that position. Doesn't mean, and that's the worst place to freaking get into an accident is the restart
Hmm.
because you get to the back so freaking fast with all the cars piled in,
Yep.
and then there's no safety after
Yep.
that. So like you really got to come back and earn it.
Yeah.
I looked at his and it was just three cars going into the same turn at the same time, just bumping and nothing egregious whatsoever. And Bessa got tapped, which tapped Chaotica. He turned sideways a little bit and then got tapped again. And next thing you know, he was in the sand.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt bad for that. That's
There's no safe spot to be in there because what on at one point is the outside, then becomes the inside, and it's so wherever you're at, you're in a vulnerable spot at one point or another in the chicane. And
I got through
like,
it. Perfect.
yeah, I mean,
Perfect.
I didn't really have any trouble there either.
I was in the
Just
back.
some stuff going on. Right. Well, but before when we were qualifying right before the race or before qualifications, I was telling Dirksey, I was like, we were just kind of talking off of on our own chat. And I told Dirksey, I was like, I don't even know if I'd even really want to qualify here. I just want to start at the back. Like, and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, turn one is going to be a disaster. And I was like, if you're not one or two, and even then you're not safe, but if you're anywhere in that middle, it's just pure chaos. You're almost better just to say, screw it. I'll start in the back, sit in the pits.
Yeah. I think I almost came to a complete stop
Yeah.
going into turn one, just waiting for everyone to kind of work their way through it. I wasn't going to push, like, uh, no, I wasn't going to risk it. And I was like, you know what? And I kind of just laid back. I was like, let the field spread out a little bit. Um, wasn't a huge mess. And then I'll see if I can't start plucking people off.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I was able to a touch, but I saw Chaotic in the sand. I was like, sorry, but I came through once and Tex had just been reset onto the track as I'm hitting the apex and he was ghosted. And I was like, oh God, please stay ghosted, please stay ghosted. And thankfully, well, he continued to be because otherwise I was going to crush the hell out of him. Um, yeah, I had the beginning of my race was very, very frustrating. Hitting that curb and spinning out, and then out of frustration, trying to drive it on the limit. And then I hit the last set of S's before getting towards the end.
Hmm.
And you get on the curb with that stupid car, and the end just comes around. And you can't, the bad part about it is it has severe oversteer when you lift the throttle.
Hmm.
Okay. If you're going too fast, though, it's got severe understeer. So you really got to modulate to like, you got to be precise. And I lifted a little too much. The rear started to step out. I gave it more throttle. The rear came back, came back. I let off, and then it was just like I couldn't correct it and freaking just spun out again. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be an awful race. It
Yeah, I
was
had a couple
frustrating.
offs. I ran off a couple times there at
I
the.
passed you on one of them.
Yeah, you did a second right hander in the back
Yep.
back of
Yep.
there. Yeah. Um, I mean, I got back on fine enough. Nothing severe really, but um, yeah, I mean,
You ran me
Monza
wide.
is Monza is the hardest simple track there is. You look at that track, look at the design of it. Nothing
Mhm.
complicated that it looks like, aside from maybe turn one in the chicanes. But overall, nothing really sticks out as being too overly complicated. It's not a Nürburgring with 9,000 turns. You just kind of look at it like, yeah, it's a pretty simple track. Kind of looks sort of like a shoe, sort of. And it's not. Um,
The
it's
curbs.
challenging.
The curbs get you, and then that last high speed chicane,
Yeah.
they put those little bump stops
Mhm.
just enough to disrupt the car and then ruin your whole day.
Yeah, basically.
And
Basically.
everybody wants to hit that high speed, full throttle because it sets you up for that whole straight. And if you don't,
Yeah,
you lose time.
you do. You
You
do.
lose time.
You do.
Um, Do you remember running me wide on the last turn? Not
Running you
on purpose.
wide on the last turn.
Yeah, I picked up a penalty because of it.
I was out of gas. Are you talking
No,
about
not
that?
on that turn. It's the last turn, but not. I wasn't anywhere near you for the last lap last turn. I was
Oh.
on the last turn. But when I was bumping Zen,
Uh-huh.
like I knew just between talking to you and Dirksey, uh, you could tell that you guys are fuel saving, right?
Uh-huh.
And me and Zen were like coming up on you pretty quick. So instead of racing Zen, I was like, Zen, I'm going to bump you so we could kind of get by you guys, and then I was going to race Zen. Um, but I bumped him into that last turn.
Oh
I
yeah.
was on the outside, and you drifted out, and I kept bumping Zen just to get him past. And then I picked up a half-second penalty. I think that was lap 29 or 30. And
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
do
"Dang
remember
it,
that
I picked
now.
up a freaking penalty
I
just
do
to get
remember
rid
that. Because as you came by, you had a penalty, and I was like, oh, you got a penalty.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
did that.
I had somebody in my inside, and I wasn't really anticipating you to go for the outside. I figured I'm on the outside. I figured,
I was on the outside.
you just decided. Once again, we just talked about this. Too wide. You wanted to make it three.
No, it was only two wide. It was only you and me. We'll go back and look at it. You go and plop that replay up here. Let's see what that looks like.
Okay.
Let me go verify it first before you do that. I don't want to do it. Yeah, I think it was just both of us going into it because it was you and Dirksey, and then it was me and Zen, and I was trying to push him along to get past you two, slow asses in the way, trying to fuel save. So, and then Dirksey, being in front of us, I was trying to just be polite and just find a better place to kind of pass him.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, Preston caught up to me, and I went to go past Dirksey at a inopportune spot, and it slowed me down. And the next thing you know, Preston comes flying through, passing me and Dirksey at the same time, blows our doors off. I know he's over there just chuckling his ass off, and
Yeah.
it's like lap 30, and he just takes off. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the finishing order. Go ahead and run us through how everybody finished.
I thought you were doing that. I wasn't prepared for this. You said you had it on your phone.
I got GT4.
Oh, okay. You know what? I can do GT3. I will say this while I pull this up. Between both races, it was cool because it had like a F1 feel to it. I know it's an F1 track.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is a lot of the manufacturers were running in front and back of each
Mm-hmm.
other. Like you had
It was.
Vet, you had Chaotica's team, same thing with the Ferraris and GT4. Like the manufacturers stayed together pretty well during this race,
Yep.
which was kind of cool to see everyone kind of staggered like that. Bad Rock and Floody were running for a little bit. Like, so it was kind of cool just seeing all those teams like helping each other, and I'm plucking people out because I don't have a team, trying to just say, hey, let me be a teammate. I want in. Red Rover, Red Rover.
Pick me, pick me.
Pick me. That's why I was like, I'll bump anybody. I don't care. I have no loyalties. All right. So we all know Glovis took first. Good job, Glovis. Second win of all time. And then shortly behind him, like I said, 4/10 behind Besso. I think this is the first 1-2, maybe, for a manufacturer.
Yeah, we'd have to double check it. I think
Yeah.
I want to say maybe you did it one year, not last season, but maybe the season before that in the Porsche perhaps maybe.
It's possible. Yeah, it's
But
possible. I don't know.
it might be the first 1-2. You might have had the first two podium slots for
I think we've had 1-3 before. I don't know if we've had 1-2. That's what I'm thinking.
that might be. That might
Right.
be. So this might be the
That's
first.
the case. Zen popping off with his third place finish of the season. So he's getting a lay of the land, the 4C. I mean, we've all said the 4C was solid with fuel, solid with tires. It's got a good top end. We've got a lot of high-speed tracks.
Yep.
So he's really exploiting that. I should not have spent any time trying to better his times at the beginning of the season. I should have waited till the end. Preston jamming out with He took fourth place, so he's got a third place and a fourth place this season. I somehow managed to take fifth place and fastest lap, which is kind of scattered all over the board. I mean, we've got Berman that took fastest lap. We had Nismo and then myself. We've had different winners every single time. No repetitiveness whatsoever.
Mhm.
Not Berman, Tex came flying in on me. Just a second behind, taking sixth. Bad Rock had a pretty good race with seventh. We practiced with Bad Rock on Saturday for a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was me, him, and Zen. And it was just a little pop-up. I was like, hey guys, I got some time. Anybody want to jump on? And he did for a little bit. So it was good to see him. Like I said, he crossed me over like a basketball. Dirksey took eighth because he was fuel saving. Hey, stop trying to fuel save. We already know how that works. It doesn't work well. Floody in ninth. I don't know what happened to Floody. He looked like he was doing pretty well there for a while, and then he kind of slipped back. Chaotica with the unfortunate mishap at turn one. And before I get to the last place, I think I told you this earlier, but for the context of the show and talking to everybody else,
Yeah, of course.
watching the YouTube stream, and everyone's flying around that last turn. The camera angle doesn't change. Sully, thank you, by the way, for your contribution.
Thank you.
Saito, thank you for your contribution. And the camera angle just stays in the same spot, and everyone's just flying by, getting to the start finish line. I come creeping by a little faster than what you are, but it's like you've got sixth place flies by, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and then it's just like and you just barely freaking managing to get around the turn. It's such a pathetic video.
Well, the funny thing, I was like, I was watching when as soon as it ran out of gas, I was like, I looked up at the map and I was like, okay. And the thing about it is it feels like if you could get the car to neutral, it would almost be better, like you could coast it. But the car feels like it's like compression breaking you down.
Yeah.
And so you get down to that speed because I was like, oh my God, I was like, I got a pretty good gap between these other guys. Like I might be able to get there, and then it's not gonna happen.
Who
Like
passed you?
Chaotica passed me. Uh I want to say Floody passed me. Um
Is all right, so that's ninth and 10th. Only
yeah.
two cars pass you?
I was when yeah, I would have finished, I think, behind Dirksey, I believe. Because at the lap before
Yeah.
I was behind him. He went in before we were running right in line with each other. And like I said, he called his fuel out, and I had basically the same, so the calculation was the same for both of us. I just said screw it. I'll take
Dirksey,
a shot.
build your own. Don't listen to him. It's not working. Come back to Team Lexus. Lambo in disguise.
Well, let's talk about the leaderboard. So, for all your jokes, I am still number one on the leaderboard with 28 points. So,
Oh, bravo.
Glovis though, and this is another first that I don't think we've ever had. When you look at this leaderboard, the order of the points literally are so close all the way down the whole way. I have 28. Glovis is in second with 27. And then there is Zen with 26. Then Besso with 25. Then Preston 24. And then you with 22. So between sixth and first is separated by only what, 6 points?
Yeah.
That's nothing. Nothing at all. So I mean, you get 5 by taking a win over second place. So, to put that in perspective, Floody is 7th with 21. Again, close, only 1 point. 2 points behind that is Berman with 19. And then a two-way tie between Cam and Texas Speed with 18. And interesting the way we know who put the leaderboard together. Thank you, Chaotica, for updating this every week. But we know who did it because there is a exact tie for 11th and 12th. Chaotica and Dirksey are tied with 16 points. And Chaotica strategically placed himself above the relegation line.
And the tiebreaker would typically be the total overall points, which is in fact still tied at 21.
I bet he says that because he had a 10 and Jet Dirksey didn't have a 10. Do we think that counts?
I mean, that we've never really
We've never
considered
run into this before.
the next tiebreaker. Yeah. I mean, that's obviously
It won't stay this way.
argue.
It won't stay this way. So Dirksey and Bad Rock are below relegation line at this time. Although again, you look at the points, 13 with Bad Rock, Dirksey 16, Chaotica 16, Texas Speed 18 as you move up there. I mean, there's so few points separating that I think this is going to really shuffle around quite a bit. Although it is interesting that it literally, what, 15 points separates first from 13th?
Yeah, well, and Nismo is tied for 7, if you really want to get technical.
Nismo, yeah, is. Yeah, he is tied technically for 7th, yes.
So no, it's again, I've said it already, but it's been really nice to see multiple drivers, fastest lap, different drivers winning this season, points all over the place, no one just running away with anything whatsoever. So, I mean, I think Saito was already practicing today on Alsace. So, I mean, all the points freaking matter. There's no doubt about it.
So there's two things that we've learned tonight. One is that Junkai doesn't get to roll safety car numbers anymore.
That was perfect for me. Honestly, what would have been perfect would be 9. Lap 9 would have been perfect. But
Chaotica rolled for GT4 and he rolled a proper number. It was like, I don't remember, 14 or something like that.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What was wrong with it?
I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna assign a new roller.
That's fine.
We're gonna let Chaotica roll it.
That's fine. That's fine.
The other thing we've learned is we have to Nancy Kerrigan you when it comes to a car. So
dude, I've been hitting both legs for this damn car. Good God. So the other night, and I hate to bring this up, but not really. But so when we were on Bad Rock, me and Zen, and Bad Rock's like, I see what you're doing in the Lambo, and I'm really curious, how you'd handle the Audi. So I was like, well, let's go find out, right? My first lap, I ran a 148.2. And I was like, so much better than the Lambo.
Wow.
First lap out, 148.2. Put it away after that. And I was like, nope, I'm not spoiling myself with this.
Now, is the Audi that good?
The Audi has, well, again, comparatively to the Lambo, where you're fighting every single corner.
A 148.2 is a 148.2, period.
148.2 is good. Don't get me wrong. Like with that, I could get a 147. I'm confident I can get a 147 in the Audi. In the Lambo, I got a 148 flat. Besso thought I was drafting, and I did not draft in the qualifying. I was, I think, close to the last car out, and then backside Zen stopped for some reason and I passed him, but otherwise, like, I didn't have any drafting partners whatsoever. I caught up to Preston, and then when I did, I backed off and I didn't even qualify that lap. But yeah, the Audi, what's good about the Audi is on exit, it doesn't have the understeer that the Lambo has. That's what I noticed about it. It has high speed exit understeer.
Okay.
But all the other turns, like your low speed and mid speed, like the exit, you've got proper exit. Whereas you got to wait for the Lambo to rotate more than any other car before you get on the throttle. You almost got to see the freaking curb you're shooting at because you're going to get there. You're definitely going to get there. So I'll say one thing though. What I noted too is um, I think, and we'll let Glovis sort this out because it's about him. He qualified 8th and won, and I'm pretty sure that's the farthest back anyone has won from
Yeah.
in the vet. So put a little asterisk.
Yeah, that went 1-2. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've noted that strong car, finished well.
yeah, for sure. So, well, I mean, how does it feel though when you don't have to put a tire strategy together and it's just fuel?
I mean,
Is it boring? Would you prefer to have to use different compounds, or is it like pretty gratifying to just roll on softs?
It's fine to roll on softs. I think we've discussed several changes coming for next season, which we're not going to get into here, but we're probably going to be some tire changes coming. We'll just leave that there. Softs, they're good. I mean, obviously, the problem is if your softs last the full fuel run, there's no sense in not running softs the entire time,
Yeah,
unless of course the rules dictate you have to run something other than softs. But um, really the medium tire is the better tire, or should be the better tire, uh, of choice. It was last season.
yeah, yeah, for sure,
A lot more
for sure.
softs this season. Now how that's gonna play out, because I believe the next race is hards, I believe.
Yeah,
Or
required tires for Alsace is hards,
yep.
and I would imagine because I'm curious to see if softs are going to run a fuel because of us running at night.
It's true.
I know where I'll be. Hard, medium, medium, and another medium because we got to pit 3 times.
Yeah, I think we're gonna probably go for a three stopper. We're done messing around with this
You should try it. It actually works out fairly well if you put the right amount of fuel in. I was just fortunate I didn't lose a damn spot. That's all I was going to be pissed about.
All
So,
right, enough about that. Let's go to GT4. So GT4, turn one was complete chaos again. They had the same issues, both on start and restart.
mhm.
Um, Again, no incident reports, so thanks, guys. Uh, but it was complete, just calamity corner there.
I mean, once you start bumping, it's just like that rubber band we've talked about. It just boom, 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 boom. Uh, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and we said before, I think we said it on the last podcast, we were like, we always say, everybody says for the race, like, turn one, guys, watch turn
I
one.
said it for this one.
You said it for this one. I mean, it's like every race, and 99% of the time we get through turn one clean-ish. There's sometimes a little bit of issue, but nothing major. And then Monza, it's just like it's just nuts. There's just cars piling into the corner. And then it's who hit me? Ah.
I know. I know. That's just nuts. So I was proud of my teammate, Deeds. We practiced very minimal, but I shared with him some videos. Um, the advantage of the Lambo at that track is being able to power through all-wheel drive over those curbs. And even if it gets unsettled, you just hit the throttle and it just goes. So he was able to get his time down to kind of where close to where my time was.
Mhm.
And for qualifying, he was 8 tenths better than second place. He freaking did amazing during the race. And it was just that I think it was either the last or second to last lap. And he got a little unstable. He spun the car. I want to say it was the same curve I spun out on. And huge charges lingering in the back, a few seconds, was able to make that gap. And that's all it takes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really close. I mean, yeah,
He
we
was
were.
doing such a good job on it. I mean, that car is strong. It's got a good top end. You know, you get on some of these curvy racetracks like where we're headed, it's going to struggle a little bit with the all-wheel drive, but it's going to be strong at Bathurst. Coming down the mountain, just freaking full throttle.
The GR4 will be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're not talking the GR3. I may not qualify for that race. I think I've said that before because that freaking dip is going to wreck my life. It is going to wreck my life, and the negative G's going into that braking zone going down,
Yeah.
the car is going to go sideways. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt. Like it's going to be a nightmare. And if I manage 50% of the time to get through without an accident, I think I'll be happy with that.
Well, I
It,
think there's a it's interesting when you look at the finishing results of GT4. The top four cars, one, two, three, four, were all Italian at an Italian track.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Four
yeah. The
five eight,
Alfa,
the
the
Huracan, the
Ferrari.
GR, the
Yeah,
4C, and then the 458 again.
yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah,
Good
all
little.
Italian top four.
Yeah, it's a good little synopsis you got there. I like it.
So we'll run through the finishing order of GT4.
No, we got to talk about the race. Screw
Okay.
the finishing order. We got to talk about the race. Slug ran out of gas.
Yeah, Slug ran out of gas. I believe it was Rutaz ran out of gas too.
Rube ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Um,
There was somebody else was on the radio talking about running out of gas at the line. I can't remember who it was, but somebody
Anatole
mentioned
blew an engine.
Anatole blew an engine. Yep. 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 That
Golden
was
threw his back out.
Golden is evidently a daredevil. We didn't realize that he's
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I'm glad he's
doing
doing
like
well though. There
yeah.
was some chatter going back and forth, so it's good to he's healing up and everything. So take your time, bud.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a gnarly little picture of his bike. That sucks.
Yeah, he's trying to like jump a canyon or something
He said it
and
was like a
like
20-foot drop or something like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nasty.
That's
So,
nasty. Um
um, but yeah, I mean, it was cool seeing Rue kind of out towards the front.
mhm.
And I was really, I mean, not that I was not rooting for him, but I did not want to see a 1-2 in GT3 and then a possibly one in GT4 or I was like, we'll never hear the end of it. I
Yeah.
no, I don't want to deal with that. No offense to Glovis or any of those guys for that, but I was like, no, I don't want to deal with that. But it was again, I mean, what we say every single podcast is the tight racing amongst all of them and the clean passes amongst all of them. I mean, huge jar, I knew at some point was going to get his win. Without a doubt. He got second last race, grabbed first this race, and still a different fastest lap from someone different that we've never seen before grab a fastest lap. So again, that same kind of emulation from GT3 of being everyone kind of all over the board, and we're not seeing the same winners, we're not seeing the same fastest laps, and it's nice to see them battling it out for those positions
Yeah.
and doing so well, you know. So huge jar, he just stayed in the right spot and was able to close that gap.
Yeah. Yeah, he
So
did. Yeah,
yeah,
he just and you just kind of stick with it. You never know when that mistake is going to come or if it will come. And it came at the end, unfortunately.
yeah, and I mean, again, the manufacturers were running together too.
Yeah,
Like throughout the race, they were teaming up. Um,
the finishing order.
Thrasher
Yeah.
and Huge Jar for quite a while were running together side by side. Honda and Layla were running, so it was cool to see
Mhm.
so many of those drivers just running side by side with the same manufacturer, helping each other out. It was definitely cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you look at the finishing order and you look at what cars finished where, you got the groupings of the cars. They're not maybe right in line with each other all the time, but they're right there together. The cars are grouped. So uh
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So now we'll run through the finishing order. So Huge Jar with his victory in the 458 Italia. Congratulations. Uh, Second place was Deeds. I know he was upset about that. Well
It
done
was.
still. Second place is still very good. Go get him at the next one in the Huracan. Uh Hyphy Honda in third, rounding out podium with the 4C. Thrasher right there. Thrasher's fourth. He's slowly bringing the Ferrari up, like
Mhm.
just brings it up a little bit at a time, and in the 458. So that was where he finished. Fifth was Sully in the RCZ, and sixth Lalo again 4C, teammates not far off. Seventh again RCZ Saito, the two Altoids cars. You see it?
Yeah, it
Pretty
was a good
pretty.
livery.
It's a good livery. I like that one.
I like the Cookie Monster too.
The Cookie Monster one, yeah, that was a good one too. Eighth was Kuraskai. Kuraskai continuing. I think he said that was his best finish that he's ever had. Um,
I would venture to say probably close to it.
I think so.
Hmm.
And then ninth was Rue in the Corvette. That was a Cookie Monster car. He ran out of gas, I'm pretty sure.
He took
Uh,
fastest lap as well.
He did take fastest lap with a 157 410. So
Hmm.
well done. Slug finished 10th and he did run out of gas. And then Divine was the 11th place, one lap down. And then that rounded us out. Of course, Maxwell, Anatole took last due to a engine failure. So
Yep.
yeah, unfortunately. Uh,
Slug swapped on me.
he swapped on you and ran out of fuel.
That's right. Karma. Nobody ran out of fuel in the Lambo.
You did actually at the line. You just
I
didn't.
said, I said in GT3 we ran out. The whole team ran out of fuel in GT3.
So where does that leave us with points in the manufacturers for GT4? So Hyphy Honda is on top of the points board with 41 overall or total points factoring a dropped race. Second is Huge Jar with 35. Third, Deeds with 30. So pretty tight, scoring points wise there for those guys. Lalo is fourth with 20, tied with Rue in fifth with 20 as well. Then we have a three-way tie with Thrasher, Saito, and Anatole, all with 19 points. So a tie for sixth. Um, Sixth there. Sully is ninth with 15. Devin, 13. Kuraskai, 12. Arcane 6, Silo 4, and Golden Oracle 2. Um, and then we got Slug down there with 15 points, so he is technically tied with Sully in the overall points as a reserve driver. So
Yeah.
so where does that leave us with teams? So Alfa Romeo is doing a heck of a good job this season. They are leading with 87 points overall, followed by Team Ferrari with 73. So um, close enough. We're not far
Hmm.
off. And then Team Chevrolet, this past weekend helped them out a ton doing a 1-2 finish. That's massive. Bringing them up to 72 points total. Then Team Jag with 63. Even though we can't figure out gas, we're still holding on to fourth. Fifth is Team Peugeot with 59. Sixth is Team Lambo, 56. You're not on the bottom. So
Oh, I
you're
know.
beating up
I
on your
know.
car. But Team Renault is 46. So Team Renault 10 points behind you. So
Bloody man, what's going on? I know you're listening to me in the car right now. And
Don't
you're
just
thinking,
leave him
that
on the
son of a
drive, Lord.
bitch. For the last 2 weeks, he's had 2 drivers missing. So he's running with just 2 drivers in the Lambo, and you're still losing. Floody, I hope you're sitting in traffic, looking at your dashboard, making sure it's not overheating. Have a good day, sir. You're losing. It won't be
Oh,
for long. Next race, he has my ass 100%. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay for Boat to have PlayStation Network again, and I'm recruiting him to Team Lambo. That's what's going to happen.
yeah, he did say he got rid of his PlayStation Network, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy his PS Plus. Uh-huh.
Oh,
Done.
okay.
Oh, yeah, that was I like Monza. I just don't like it in this car. I just don't like this car. It's I love the bang livery on it. I do love the bang
Mhm.
livery. I do love the livery that Deeds put on him. Did you see that little, yeah, I showed you that video
Mhm.
clip.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like 2 weeks ago, we're talking July 4th, and I'll say Golden and for Glovis, you got someone kind of rivaling you in the livery department. He's like, hey, I work on F-22, so I want to do an F-22 theme. Do you guys want to do any planes? And I was like, I grew up in Myrtle Beach. We used to watch the A-10 Warhogs fly in all the time. And so he was like, yeah, dude, I'll make that one for you. I need to figure out a way to get a Gatling gun on the front. Um, and then we just threw Silas in the SR-71, which is a little bit of an oxymoron of putting the fastest jet with the slowest driver, which is kind of cool for Team Lambo. But he did a phenomenal job on the liveries. I'm excited to see what the 4th of July liveries look like. I remembered we were talking, me and Deeds, and this is the one track that has fireworks at night,
Oh yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like all working in together. It's gonna be July 4th. We got fireworks. It's at night. So bring on your most patriotic liveries. Glovis, you better make the gaudiest ass American livery for Besso I've ever seen. I want Trump all over it. Put Trump and Biden on the same car. Flags and American Eagles, everything.
Budweiser sponsor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, Natty Light.
Natty Light. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Uh,
well, so that's coming up. That's our midpoint race. So, um, you know,
okay. So
it's all downhill after that.
yeah,
Literally at Bathurst.
fuck. Yeah, that's gonna suck. So at Alsace, I'm gonna be on the controller.
You why?
Yeah, I'm not taking my entire racing rig up to DC. I'm going up to DC for a wedding for that weekend.
You so you're gonna be in the wedding get right before it doing a
It's
race.
not on Sunday, thankfully.
You're like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Button my
I'll
shirt,
be at
button
my
my shirt.
brother's house on the controller in hopes that I don't wreck anybody's race. I used to be able to manage the controller, but it's definitely going to be extremely difficult with the Lambo and the controller. Uh, if it was at a different time, I could probably swing by Zen's place and take my rig back and say, "Hey, I need this for the weekend." Go back to the controller. But so yeah, that piece is going to be difficult because one, it's a tight track in some areas with all. It's pretty open, but there's so many back and forth turns that it kind of makes it a little tight.
Yeah.
And it's at night,
Yeah.
and I'm in the Lambo. I don't know if I've said that yet or not.
Well, We shall see what happens.
Fuel. Put gas in the car. I'm telling myself, not you. I give a shit about you. My whole goal is to beat you in the Lambo. So you have to wear a T-shirt that says, "I lost to Junkai in the Lamborghini." Deviant. And then I'm going to put little tick marks for all the times you've run out of gas. And I'll do it in permanent marker so it looks like ass.
Let Christopher do it.
Tally.
Let Christopher do it. Make a mark.
Yeah. And then here's the thing, you can always just keep up with it. So if you ever run out of gas, when you run out of gas again, you can just hit the little tally. No?
Do it myself?
Yeah. Or we'll let your wife do it. I think that'd be appropriate. 100%, man.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up this episode. So we'll see everybody at Alsace. Reverse. Make sure you're practicing the right way around.
Yes.
Wouldn't that
I'm trying
be,
to think of any
wouldn't that
part
be
of that
terrible?
track yeah, I'm trying to think of any part of that track I kind of like. And I don't.
I mean, I think I've raced there a total of 3 times, maybe.
Do you like this track or St. Croix better?
St. Croix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done it a few more times, like 2 more times.
God, the tires are going to suck at St. Croix. Because there's no banking.
Yeah. I'm really excited for Nürburgring. That's the one I'm excited for.
Dude, I tried. There was an open lobby, and there was these guys that were running Nürburgring. So I jumped on it with the Lambo.
Mm-hmm.
Never finished the race.
Oh.
I tried 3 races with them. There were only 1 lappers, but I didn't finish. Every time I hit a curb, I will not be able to use the curbs at all at Nürburgring.
Oh, that's gonna make it rough, man.
Dude, yeah, I know, because like in the BMW, like you could just annihilate the curbs. I mean, that's where you pick up all your time.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the textbook way of driving Nürburgring, basically.
Not in the Lambo.
Not in the
Lambo. You know, I joked earlier about it, but I may not qualify for that race. That's going to be a nightmare.
Well,
I'm going to
find out.
I'm going to pull a floodie. I'm going to start drinking early. So, all right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Next time, hopefully I'm not in a hotel. And actually, I will be. Damn it. Okay. To Lego cars.
To Lego cars. See you guys next time.
Later.
Do it.
Yeah, Mommy, miss. You want to hide?
Now when I feel like seeing a little.
I gotta shoot that dinosaur peg?
No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yeah, shoot the dinosaur.
No, you'll lose points. Peyton had 300,000